The Locky Trinity hits for us this past weekend as Montel Jackson and Corey Sandhagen went out there and did the damn thing against their respective opponents. And I thought the Jackson fight was a little closer than I was hoping for it to be, but Sandhagen made it look as easy as all hell and able to get that finish, I believe, in the second or third round of their matchup. And that cashes our minus 123 Locky two-step. Unfortunately, the Locky Trinity fell short as we had Miesha Tate unable to get to her grappling game until the final round. And it was very surprising considering how easily she was able to get that takedown in the third round and the fact that she was unable to do so in the first or second round. So credit to Santos in terms of showcasing perpetual movement and making it very difficult for Tate to get to her game. But I thought if Tate, maybe kicked it up a gear a little earlier, she would have been able to get that takedown and we would have been able to cash that Locky Trinity. But that is not the case. So we'll take the Locky two-step, and that is a reminder. There's a reason I call this the Locky Trinity and the Locky two-step. It's two separate parlays. You would wager more on the Locky two-step, which is a little bit safer than the Locky Trinity, and then we're able to come out with profit as long as the Locky two-step ends up hitting. So just a reminder for you folks there. Another reminder, we do have a ton of MMA going down this weekend, not just with the UFC, but on Friday we got PFL MENA and LFA 208. I'll have written breakdowns for both of those on the Lock of the Night Patreon page. I'll also be dropping a Legacy Warriors podcast later today to break down the LFA 208 card, so stay tuned for that. And then on Saturday we have KSW and PFL Europe 1 going down. I'll have written breakdowns for both of those on the Lock of the Night Patreon page, and then I'll be dropping the PFL Europe breakdown for you guys, hoping for later Thursday evening, but it's looking like it will probably be Friday evening-ish. It might even be just full-on audio because I got some errands to run that day and I'll be out of town a little bit, but I'll try to get it recorded for you guys ASAP. So it's going to be a very busy 48 hours for your boy, but I'll get the work done and do it efficiently as I normally do. So stay tuned for all that good stuff. Again, check out the MMA LOT and Patreon page. Track plays, degenerate props, all that good shit. I got you covered, a ton of content on there, so check it out. Lock of the Night Patreon page in the description below. And again, that is where you'll be able to get these Locky Trinity and Locky two-steps earlier in the week, which is where we often get better lines than when I drop it to the public on Thursdays of fight week because of line movement. But this week, there were some spots, as you'll see, that were swaying one way or the other. So this is one of those weeks where the odds may not have been better should you have plugged it in earlier this week. But it's more often than not, they're better early on in the week. All right, let's get right into it. I'm jabbering too much here. First matchup up, we're going to, or first step up in the Locky two-step is going to be Jasmine Jasudavicius, who goes up against former strawweight champion Jessica Andrade. Now, this is a matchup I fully expect Jasudavicius' strength and wrestling to come to fruition, where she should be able to take Andrade down without too much issue, and then from there have very good success with raining down big shots from that top, a dominant top position. Andrade might be able to stop a few of the first takedowns or even work back to her feet, but the longer Jasudavicius gets to that game, the more I think she'll be able to get to a dominant enough position to really start wearing down shots and raining down shots and wearing her down and eventually getting that TKO finish. But as long as she gets the dub straight up, that's all that matters here, and I think she does it successfully, which is why I'm trusting her as the first step in the Locky two-step. The second step in the Locky two-step is going to be the King of Rio, Jose Aldo, who goes up against Ayman Zahabi, who will have a pro-Zahabi crowd behind him. Obviously, he is the brother of Faraz Zahabi, head coach of GSP, the legend of Canadian mixed martial arts, obviously fighting in their hometown as well. So I'm sure, I doubt they'll be booing Aldo, but it'll definitely be louder for Zahabi than it is for Aldo. But coming down to how this fight plays out, I really expect Aldo to control the most of this fight with his kickboxing and his Muay Thai approach. I think he's much nastier with the combinations that he throws. Very good counter striker as well. Very good kicker, as we know. And Zahabi has been on a solid run as of late, pulling off a few few upsets as well, but I don't think he's ready for the ferocity of strikes coming back his way from Aldo. And even seeing some of the interviews from Aldo this week, you can see that he was pretty pissed off with his last performance against Mario Bautista. Not so much at Bautista, but more so that he was unable to thwart Bautista's approach. So I'm expecting a very aggressive version of Aldo this weekend, and I think he'll put on a statement here and easily get the dub against Zahabi in this spot. So earlier this week, I was able to lock in plus 100 on this Locky two-step. There has been action coming in on Jazz Davicius, which has pushed her over minus 300 now, but there's been some reverse action on Jose Aldo, as a lot of people are starting to buy into Zahabi having GSP in his corner and this, his winning streak and everything that he's in on. So that has pushed Aldo down around that minus 195 range. So you can actually get the exact same line that I got at plus 100 here, considering the action on both sides of this parlay. So there you guys go. If you want to complete the Locky Trinity, I'm going to go a little bit risky here. I have this weird confidence in this spot, and I'm going to take advantage of it, and hopefully it ends up paying off. I'm going to go with Modestas Bukauskas as he goes up against Ion Cutelaba. Now, Cutelaba is looking for the first 3-fight winning streak of his UFC career, and that's crazy considering he's out over 15 fights, closing in on 20 UFC fights. But power puncher, has some wrestling if he needs it. But Bukauskas is 4-1 over his last 5 fights. Very impressive fighter. His striking has always been the highlight of his skill set, but it's also his improving confidence and grappling game, which is really helping him out against the competition that he's been going up against as of late. Sharing the training room with guys like Tom Aspinall and Mick Parkin and some of these bigger European light heavyweights and heavyweights has surely improved his confidence and his skill set, and I think he'll showcase here once again against Ion Cutelaba. I think if Cutelaba lands that big shot early, it is what it is. The line is close for that reason. But if Cutelaba can't get to that, I think he'll struggle to get to his wrestling game, as people think that will allow him to get bailed out of these bad spots by Bukauskas, because I think Bukauskas has improved his defensive grappling enough that he should be able to get this fight back into the standing realm where he should have a better minute-winning style. So as long as he can avoid the early bomb from Cutelaba, I expect Bukauskas to start running away with this late, and I wouldn't be surprised if he ends up actually getting a finish later on in this matchup. But I'm still going to take him to win this straight up, trusting him as the final piece on the Locky Trinity here, which I was able to lock in at plus 269 earlier this week. But there has been some reverse action on him and people loving the Cutelaba side. I got in on Bukauskas around that minus 120 line when I made this parlay. Now he's roughly around minus 105, which now brings the Locky Trinity to plus 284. So there you guys go. Locky Trinity, Locky two-step. Let's see if we can capitalize on last week's Locky two-step victory and hopefully close the show with the Locky Trinity as well. I'll be back later today for the LFA Legacy Warriors podcast, so stay tuned for that. And then I'll be back tomorrow again as well for the UFC 315 prop drop and likely the PFL full card breakdown as well. So a ton of content over the next 48 hours. Make sure you guys stay tuned to this YouTube channel. Hit that like, hit that subscribe, hit that notification bell as well to know as soon as I drop the content so you guys can digest it sooner than later. All right, that's a wrap. I'll see you guys later today. Peace.